Hello, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this. I like this website, and I also really hate it. We're going to dive into this in just a minute, but this would be called, Was Paul the Apostle a False Prophet? Or it could be called Paul on Trial. It could be called many things, but with limited time, wanting to keep this short, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide. And if you decide to continue in this, sorry, stretching at the wrong time, keeping myself awake, should have drank some coffee a couple hours ago. It's too late now, because I want to go to bed soon. So, unfortunately for some people, they really honestly believe that Paul is a false prophet because the Hebrew Roots movement of, you have to look this up for yourself. I'm not in the Hebrew Roots movement. I have a Hebraic Roots Bible, which gets us back to, because I think I said it before, and I'm going to say this as quick as I can. Most Bible translations today are anywhere from 3 to 4 generations away from the original Greek and not Greek, sorry, the original Hebrew, the original Aramaic. So that's what the Hebrew Bible did, is it retranslated it, has a lot of, has some minor grammar errors and stuff like that. Get it for yourself and decide, or check out my other video and check out the links on that. Anyhow, so, Romans 10:4. I want to start there really quick. You can read this, you can pause it, read this, look up this page, but we're going to start in Romans 10:4, where it says, "For the Messiah is the goal, or the end, of the Torah for righteousness to everyone that believes." So Paul, what is Paul saying here? That the Messiah is the goal. Many translations wrongly translate this word as end, bringing the false belief that the Torah is somehow ended. Now, right there, go back to Deuteronomy 13:1-5. Anybody that teaches you that, anybody who teaches you that the Torah has been done away with and teaches you to go astray, right, away from the teachings that you have been taught, and the teaching that you have been taught come from the Lord, and the Lord tells you to keep His word, anything that comes against that, that is a false prophet. That is your false prophet test. That is what you're to hold to every single person who calls himself a teacher, a leader, or anything reading you in Scripture, okay? So, however, both in Aramaic and even in the Greek, the word means goal or end result, and it is showing to the true believer that Yeshua is the goal and how we should strive to be, and how Yeshua kept the Torah perfectly. Now Galatians 3:23. Let's turn there really quick. Really quick. Sound like I'm calling up pigs for dinner. Pig. Okay, so we're turning to Galatians 3:23-25. But before the coming of faith, we were protected under the law, having been locked up to the faith being about to be revealed, so that the Levitical law has become a trainer of us until the Messiah, that we might be justified by faith. But since faith has come, we are no longer under trainers. Okay, so let's read the footnotes on this really quickly. Paul is using a play on words here for the Aramaic word tutor, which is tara. Make sure I'm reading this right. Hold on real quick. Did I miss one? Yeah, I missed one. The Levitical law was added due to the sin of Israel and the golden calf, but was only a trainer to Israel to remind them daily of their sinful nature until the Messiah would appear and replace the temporary Levitical order with the eternal order of Melchizedek. Now, there's some stuff on this that I'm going to go into because I don't even fully understand it yet, and I'm still trying to learn. Now, Paul is using a play on words here in Aramaic for tutor or tara, contrasting, or I'm probably really butchering that. It's probably just like Tara or something like that, but I roll my R's, I don't know why. Contrasting that although the Torah is still binding and necessary for the new covenant believers, not the oral traditions of the Pharisees. Okay. And then lastly, Ephesians 2:15. Hold on. In his flesh he has caused to In his flesh he has caused to cease the enmity due to the man-made laws and regulations, that he might in himself create the two into the new man, making peace. The word here, is not the word for Torah, and even in the Greek it is dogma, which are man-made laws and regulations made up by the rabbis separating the exiled Israelites. So the laws and regulations, the man-made laws and regulations, Ephesians 2:15. And then the law of Christ, which is Galatians 6:2. Let's go there really quick. I have a point to all of this. I'm just reading from all the scripture. Just grin and bear it for a moment. And you carry the excess load of one another, and thus complete yourself in the instruction of the Messiah. And anyhow, basically, and I had this up here a minute ago. I'm going to find it again for you guys, where it talks about this in better detail. Because I said this in one of the Galatian videos, and I'm going to read it again. In chapter 3 of Romans, verse 31 and verse 5. So we'll read 3:5 and 3:31. But if our unrighteousness serves to establish the righteousness of Elohim, God, what shall we say? If Elohim unjust when he inflicts his righteousness, is he unjust when he inflicts his righteous indignation? I speak according to man. So do we nullify the Torah by faith? Far be it. On the contrary, we establish the Torah. You see, in all of Paul's epistles, the argument is never whether one should obey the Torah. The argument is how do we get justified before Yahweh, before our Elohim? Is it through the sacrificial system where ceremonial functions, or is it strictly through the blood of Yeshua? The Torah sanctifies a believer after he is justified and teaches him right from wrong. Psalms 119, 105. Obedience is the evidence of one's faith. So let's turn to Psalms 119, 105 really quick. Whoops. Psalms 119. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. There's a footnote here that says, just as the lighted runway will give direction in the dark of night, the Torah of Yahweh is followed. If followed, will lead one to any answer in life. Everything you could ever hope to find is in Scripture. Okay? Hold Paul to the test of Deuteronomy 13:1-5 and realize that the reason why people are coming to the conclusion that he's a false apostle, a false prophet, is because in 2 Peter 3:16, Peter warns us that people who don't know the Torah, who don't know the Old Testament, are going to take Paul's words out of context. It says in 2 Peter 3:16, 3:16 it says, where is it? I was about to read 2:16, about a donkey. It says, and also in his epistles, Paul, I should go back to 15, sorry. And consider the long-suffering of Yahweh to be our redemption, as also our beloved brother Paul wrote to you according to the wisdom given to him, and also in his epistles, speaking in them concerning these things, in which some things are hard to understand, which those that are ignorant, though don't know any better, and unstable, pervert their meaning as they do with the rest of the scriptures to their own destruction. Peter is clearly supporting the Apostle Paul's epistles and teachings and calling them a part of Scripture. Okay? Therefore, continue reading in verse 17, beloved, since you know these things beforehand, guard yourself lest being led away by the error of your lawlessness, you fall away from your own steadfastness. He is basically calling out the false brethren of perverting Paul's letters due to their lawless doctrines that they could corrupt other scriptures. The whole point of Ephesians 4:25 is to discuss the truth with one another, discuss the truth, setting aside our falsehood, setting aside our preconceived notions, setting aside the things that we've been taught in churches from crib to death, okay? Cradle to death, okay? I'm stuttering, sorry. Before I end this video, what I want to get across, you test Paul. You hold this in your hands. You decide for yourself. Peter, the other apostles were against Paul because he was, killing the other Christians. He killed Stephen. Alright? But Peter, and then seeing his obedience, seeing his faith, which was the fruit, of his, of that, it's the fruit, you'll know them by their fruits. You know them by their fruits. You know Paul by his fruits. So I'm going to end this right now. It's probably going to cut off on me. But I just wanted to say to you guys to have a great night. Trying to keep these really short. Trying to talk really fast. To give you a topic to go into research by yourself. Don't take my words for it. Go and look it up for yourself. and have a great night, and shalom.